What is time? What is our understanding about time? Maximum people say time is undefined constant progress of existence and events in the past, present and future. Or time is any number or way to measure hours. But nobody actually define what is time. Many philosophers and scientists try to define time. There are two main concepts about time that are mostly admitted by philosophers and scientists. Physical time, that is neutral and occurs outer of the human mind, and it is a part of the natural world. Second is psychological time, that is subjective and has a mind-dependent reality. Importance of time. Time play an important role in our lives. It started from our very first day in this world and never stop even for a second till our last seconds in this world. In whole life cycle, time flows like running water. We could not stop or reverse it. Past, present, future all depends on time. We should know the value of time because every passing second, minute, hour not comes back at any cost. Now we discuss concept of time according to science. First we discuss Plato. Concept of time according to Plato. Plato say that time is the moving image of reality, began to think of making a moving image of eternity. Plato explain it that time is moving. He says that time is duration of one day means sunrise to sunset, and the duration of a month. What Aristotle says about time. Aristotle defines time as a kind of number. Aristotle, who was the first Greek philosopher to support the idea of subjective time, since he suggested that there is no time without a soul. Time crumbles things, everything grows old under the power of time and is forgotten through the lapse of time. Concept of time according to Isaac Newton. According to Sir Isaac Newton, time is an absolute entity which is real, not relative to or depending on others, and therefore mathematically true and objective. Time is merely a measure of cycles of change within the world. Relative, apparent and common time is any sensible and external measure of duration by means of motion, for example an hour, a day, a month, a year. It is commonly used instead of true time. What is time according to Albert Einstein's? The distinction between the past, present and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. Albert Einstein's discovery of the theory of relativity reveals the fact that physical time exists only in relation to the speed of the realm of its existence, which means that time is slower in relation to its containing object's increasing speed. In the special theory of relativity, Einstein determined that time is relative. In other words, the rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference. Concept of time according to Henry Bergson. Time is invention and nothing else. Henry Bergson described time as a device that keeps everything from happening together at the same instant by exploring the inner life of mankind, which he calls duration. He distinguishes between two forms of time. First is pure time, which means the real duration in which you live. Second is mathematical time, which is divisible into small discrete units of second, minutes, and so on, which do not reflect the flow of real time.
Concept of time according to Islam. Islam tell us about importance of time. In many Quran ayah mention about importance of time. Allah mentioned several times in Quran about time. For example, Surah Al-Asr, in which Allah Almighty swear time. Same in Surah Fajr, Allah tell His servants about importance of time. If we observe prayer, times are fixed by Allah Almighty because Allah tell us time is very important. Now we discuss some Quran ayah that tell us about time. Surah Al-Asr. In this surah Allah Almighty swear time. There is many Islamic commentator interpret this Quran surah in different angles. Some said that Allah Almighty tell His servant that you are in deficit, only those are success who advise peoples that doing good deeds, and to be patient when you are in any trouble. Hazrat Pir Karam Ali Shah write his book Zia-ul Quran that in the surah time is past, present or future. Asr is also a time of prayer. Hazrat Muhammad says that Allah Almighty has promised His servants that whoever performs Asr and Fajr prayers on time, Allah will grant him a place in paradise. Concept of time in Surah Fajr. Allah Almighty swear time of Fajr and 10 nights of Ramzan. But here many Islamic scholars says that 10 nights means 10 nights of Ramzan or nights of Muharram ul Haram and Zilhajjah. In this surah Allah Almighty also wants to give attentions of their servant towards of importance of time. Pir Karam Ali Shah says that Allah Almighty swear time because people should not doubt about end of the day. The time Fajr is important because Allah Almighty sends sustenance to His servants through His angels. We all know that the month of Ramzan is very important and merciful month for Muslims. Concept of time in Surah Al-Baqarah. Many people ask question about moon. So Allah Almighty said in Surah Baqarah that Prophet tell those peoples who ask about moon this is symbols of time. How time move or change. Through this ayah Allah tell the people about traveling of time. How time travel. Islamic scholars say about this that Allah Almighty tell His servants through His Prophet about time traveling. Because peoples raise a questions that how moon appears and disappear. Allah tell people appearing and disappearing of moon is symbols of time change. We see that before a time peoples check time and months through moons and stars. Conclusion. We have seen that both science and Islam emphasize the importance of time. Science also talk about time travel and in Islam Allah Almighty tell us about time travel in Quran. Many things are same in Islam and science. But we ever considered that Allah Almighty had already told us all the things that we are currently understanding through science. Time is not only mentioned in the Quran, many other topics are discussed about our daily life. It will not be wrong to say that Allah Almighty already tells summary of our whole life. Every aspect of life discussed in Quran. If we start living according to Islam, then all the difficulties in our life will become easy. But unfortunately we not understand what Allah Almighty tell us through Holy Quran. Thank you for watching video.